Someone asks if you're okay. "I'm fine," comes out of your mouth before you've even decided what you actually feel. That's not you lying. That's not you being closed off or difficult. It's a response your brain built on purpose, a long time ago. And once you see how it actually works, it stops feeling like a character flaw. Researchers found something about what "I'm fine" really does inside your body when you say it, and it's not what you'd expect. Most people assume saying "I'm fine" is basically a small lie, a way to dodge a conversation you don't want to have. But in 1997, researchers James Gross at Stanford and Robert Levenson at UC Berkeley ran an experiment that tells a different story. They had people watch upsetting film clips. Some were told to hide any outward sign of how they felt. No expression, nothing. Here's the part that matters. Hiding the emotion did not make people feel less upset. Internally, they were just as distressed as everyone else. But their bodies paid for it anyway. Suppressing the expression measurably increased physical stress responses, even while their face said nothing was wrong. So "I'm fine" isn't protecting you from the feeling. The feeling is still there, fully intact. All it does is move the cost somewhere you can't see it. So if hiding it doesn't even work, why does almost everyone do it anyway? Because you didn't choose this response. You were trained into it. In the late 1960s, psychologist Paul Ekman introduced a concept called display rules. The largely unspoken rules every one of us absorbs, starting in childhood, about when it's safe to show what we feel and when it isn't. Cry at a funeral, normal. Cry the same way in a work meeting, not normal. Nobody sits you down and teaches you this directly. You learn it the way you learn anything social, by watching what gets a warm response and what gets an awkward silence, over hundreds of tiny moments until the rule runs on its own. One of the clearest demonstrations of this came from a study where researchers showed same disturbing film to Japanese and American participants. Watching alone, both groups reacted almost identically. Same genuine, unfiltered facial expressions. But the moment an authority figure walked into the room, something changed. Japanese participants masked their reactions almost immediately. The Americans mostly didn't. Same internal experience. Completely different display. Because the two groups had learned different rules about when showing the real reaction was allowed. That's what's happening every time "I'm fine" comes out of you automatically. It's not a decision you're making in that moment. It's a rule you learned so long ago and practiced so many times that it now fires before conscious thought even gets involved. The same way you don't decide to flinch, you just do. So the fix isn't just be more honest. That's not how an automatic response works. You can't out-willpower a reflex that fires before you're even aware of it. The actual fix is smaller, and it happens a step earlier. Before you answer out loud, answer honestly to yourself first. Not necessarily out loud, not necessarily to the person asking, just internally. A half-second pause where you actually register what's true, before the trained response takes over and says it for you. That one step matters more than it sounds like, because right now, for a lot of people, the automatic "I'm fine" doesn't just hide the feeling from others, it hides it from you, too. You stop checking. The reflex answers so fast that you never actually get the real answer yourself. Once you build that half-second pause, something else becomes possible. Choosing, deliberately, at least one place, one person, one relationship, where the real answer gets to come out instead of the trained one. Not everywhere, not with everyone, just somewhere. That's the difference between a rule that owns you completely and a rule you've started to manage. So the next time someone asks if you're okay and "I'm fine" starts to come out on its own, pause half a second longer than the reflex wants. You don't have to say the real answer out loud. You just owe it to yourself to actually know it.